Hi, it's me, Carrie Silver Lining Mena. And this is just hopefully a quick intro into this video that I believe is going to be pretty extensive because I have some little clips to tag on top of the actual video. This video is about me and Sarah kind of doing what we do best, just yakking and discussing how we feel about things, what triggers us and why. And I'm really grateful to her she's such a good friend to me. She actually she mothers me in a way, not in like a smothering way, like I don't know, like makes suggestions on maybe I shouldn't eat that or whatever. But she mothers me in a sense of that she cooks for me and just, kindnesses like that. Little sweet things, looking out for me like a mama would. And I really appreciate that I got to have that experience through her. We are very much friends and equals, but in the dynamic of us, if one's going to be like the immature kid and the mature mama, well, I can't call her mature at all because you've seen her sense of humor. She's so goofy. So she's not quite mature either. But you know where I'm getting at. It's a dynamic that works for us. She gives me that little bit of mothering that I crave so much, and she doesn't go overboard with it and, tell me my biz. So I haven't reviewed this video yet. I have a few clips of us on our trip, and I know that I'm looking tattered. My roots are growing out, and one of them I tried to go lighter, and it really actually went lighter in the video. Then somehow I ended up dark again. I can't figure it out. But also in those videos, I don't have my lighting, and I had like skin breakouts from the mask and the makeup, and I'm just not feeling myself. And I feel like because we were out in this wilderness that we kind of took on a camping vibe, which is kind of messy a lot of the time. Didn't care because it was just us. But I decided to, leave that in despite my discomfort with allowing myself to be seen not perfect, not with my perfect lighting and my perfect makeup and whatever else, because I'm really trying to embrace who I am as I am. My packaging, it's just fine the way it is. And not only am I trying to learn how to not put myself in the 22-year-old Victoria's Secret supermodel box, this video in particular, our discussion we had made me kind of feel like, what's next on my list is to embrace my age. I've talked about it before, how I kind of feel like I gotta be younger to, I don't know, be appealing to those young men that I'm, so in love with, those 20s. But I see how stupid that is because I'm not. While I do have feelings for them still, it's what I'm chasing is unrequited love. I'm going to go into that more, but I just don't need that anymore. I don't need to appeal to them. I just need to be me, just be me. And I understand that the struggles I have are a tool in which to learn and grow and love myself. So I've decided that while I'm doing all of this self-acceptance about my body, that because dealing with my age is like right here on the cusp, I think it's like a little bit in the future, but if I can nail it right now and, two birds with one stone kind of thing, that I'm going to do that. So I don't talk about it. I talked about it a little bit here, but that got my gears going, and I'm really trying to do the inner work that will allow for me to accept all of my quote flawed packaging. And I don't really feel flawed. I don't mean to say that, but when I have the filter of needing to fit into that box that I don't fit in, then it feels like a flaw. So I'm trying to, smash that box and just be me. I don't fit into that mold. I am my own mold, and I want to embrace me as who I am. And like I said, or maybe I didn't say, but I have not reviewed this video. But what I do remember we spoke about is that show Frankie and Grace, in which what's her name, Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, they among other things, they manufacture geriatric vibrators so that you don't hurt your wrist and you got a good grip or whatever it is. I already like them just for that. But in the video with Sarah, I was saying that, I want to be like Grace. I want to be fancy and have my sparkles and dress up and put my makeup on and all that stuff. And I do enjoy that. But I enjoy it because it's an occasional thing. If I were that high maintenance that I had to get dolled up every day, it would become a real drag and I wouldn't be interested in it. I totally embrace my slobbiness. I will go to the store with dirty hair and no makeup, and I'll go out to dinner with my husband with, well, my hair brushed, maybe not as dirty and maybe not as much makeup or maybe no makeup. So I really am not that vain that I have to be, beautiful all the time. And I'm gonna use that word vain and insecure in the same kind of thing. I'm not insecure enough that I can be me most times, but I do enjoy getting dolled up. So while I appreciate that Grace likes to, doll herself up, I feel like my makeup and I feel like doctoring my pictures. Like I go like this because I'm blurring out my, look, let me see, blur out that line right there. Do the under eyes a little bit. Wait, and these lines right here. I do all that stuff. I do like to have me on art. That's how I see it. It's me on art. Accentuating what's already there. But at the end of the day, I think I would prefer to be Lily Tomlin's character. And she doesn't give a fuck about her waistline. She doesn't give a fuck about anything. She wears these big moo things and she's just happy to be her. She just wants to go get high and sit on the beach. I mean, not entirely, but she's chill. And so that's who I am. So I want to be a balance of both of those women with my own little bit in between. I'm not either of them. I'm me. And you guys, you keep watching me. You will see soon enough that I have embraced exactly who I am. So thank you always for following along in my journey. It really is cathartic and it's helpful. I could get there on my own. I absolutely could, but I just can't deny that it feels good to inspire somebody else through the telling of my story. Okay, so enough with that. Be prepared to see me and Sarah living like mountain men in the Wisconsin dells. And you just see how fun and silly we are. And then our video, it's pretty lengthy, but do your best to get through it. Thanks again and enjoy Sarah. And I didn't even mention she has her site Doing Grief Differently. That's her what do you call it? Her Facebook group. And we've done videos before. You can go back and look. And the past few have been about doing grief differently, how to deal with loss of a loved one during the holidays. And they're both very valid videos. So if you are someone that has lost a loved one and you don't know how to get through your holiday, go back and review those videos. They have plenty of information, but I wanted to kind of, make this all about me this time. And I'm really grateful to her for choosing to discuss this stuff with me on my show. Thank you for being such a good friend to me here, Sarah, and helping me process my stuff through this conversation we had. All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
It's my ear.
I like the plant better. I was going to call you Bert from Sesame Street.
I got Brussels sprouts growing out of my head from my salad.
You're Chia Sarah.
Could be cheeses.
I'm going to choke.
I have like microgreens growing out of my head. Here, if I stay up taller, maybe you won't see the point.
What's the point? Oh, just
sweating now.
It's okay.
Ooh, I'm sweating. All these lights. How do you do with the lights? You don't get hot?
Sometimes I get hot and I do get blinded, but my vanity just, overrides everything.
It's like, what happened? What was it at one time with Cindy where it took us like 4 hours to do something because of
lighting issues and
lighting, but she was trying to record outside and you don't get a strong enough signal. So she'd move in different parts of her yard. And it's like, I'm just like sweating. It's like sweating.
Makeup.
Right? Where did I see it this morning? They were working on someone's makeup. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't realize they wore so much makeup. It was a man that was doing like an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing like, I don't know why they were doing it, just behind the scenes, getting ready for the commercial break or whatever.
All right.
Like, look, that guy's getting makeup.
Sometimes I feel, by the way, I pressed record in the middle of our giggles. I just went with it. I better tell you in case
okay.
Loose lips. No, I'm just kidding. No, but, okay. Well, just in case I decide to cut that, I'll go ahead and do a proper intro, but I think I'm going to leave it. We'll see what happens. Okay. So today I have with me my very special friend, Syncy Sara. And usually we have like an annual video we do, and we usually do it around this time near the holidays. And we kind of talk about doing grief differently during this time of the year. And we've done that video a couple of times, and each time it was relevant, and we built on the year before, but this time we're going to do our annual video differently.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And we're going to make it all about us. And I especially appreciate, being able to do this particular video with you. I feel like you're almost like my partner in crime in many ways. And I'm so comfortable with you. And what this is going to be about is just talking about vanity and the importance of, or not necessarily the importance, but a personal importance, maybe significance, reason for wanting to look a certain way, and the reasons for it. Is it good? Is it bad? And I'm not here to make a judgment at all, just to have a discussion with friends, because this is my current, or with friend, this is my current endeavor in learning how to accept myself as I am. And I want to the universe, whether you realize you're planning it or not, the universe is planning things for you. And even though the idea kind of popped into my head, I don't think it was any mistake that I'm in this place right now. And we've been doing videos with our Joy Tribe. And instead of being right here with our camera angle, Carrie has set up these chairs for us to all kind of sit in, like a forum or living room, or, like we're just, girls on The View, whatever it is. But of all times to put me in my full body in front of a camera, it's right now. And I don't think that's any accident. And just as a recap, I'm doing my intuitive eating and learning how to just, listen to cues of my body, all that stuff. It's, I've said it in other videos, but I'm so very insecure. It's like heightened right now. I get on these kicks and it becomes my obsession. Is that with you too, in your current lessons, or whatever it is? It's like you can't shake it.
Hyper focus.
Yes. And even though I'm so uncomfortable in my skin and I don't know the results of this, I mean, what they will be, other than that, I will find that peace that I'm fighting for right now. And I feel like I'm really in the thick of it. So even though I'm going into these uncomfortable places, I'm very much appreciative that I'm doing it with my friends, literally by my side. So thanks to the girls for letting me be insecure and fussy and weird in the Joyride videos. And thank you to you for letting me whine and cry on you when I'm feeling insecure. And I know I keep going on, just let me have a little more. So Sarah and we just got back from a trip. We went to Wisconsin, and the reason why did you go to Wisconsin in the coldest, week of the year? Well, we didn't know it was going to be the coldest week of the year, but just the timing of it, because, I had to wait for my kids to get back to school, and we were a little intimidated to travel during COVID. And the main reason was I had like a handful of places I could choose from when I'm a real bargain shopper and I find these sites. So I found that Mac Daddy resort, and we're like, okay, we'll go there. So even though there was nothing to do, we enjoyed each other's company. And one of my motivations was, or intentions, was to be mindful of eating. I knew that you were going to take care of me. Sarah cooks and I clean. She enjoys cooking. I do not. I don't think either of us enjoy cleaning, but I had to do my part.
We had Spalding.
We did have Spalding. We'll talk about Spalding in a minute, because it was a week of coincidences. So I want to not only talk about that week, just the funsy parts and just how much we enjoyed each other, but because I do have little videos I'm going to tack on, and those videos talk about my insecurities. I don't have my good lighting. I have not such good angles either. So the videos, my chin is showing and my bags are showing. And I also don't think it's any mistake that all of a sudden I'm having this awareness of my age and seeing my age. And I realize that these lights and angles make me look fantastic, but this is not reality. And if you follow along on Facebook, I'm always posting pictures, and most of them are with Sarah. And I just take my little photo app and I blur out all of our old person parts, because I feel like the camera is so cruel. I would rather be, look, and all of a sudden I'm hyper aware. We went out with the girls yesterday. We're all talking about beauty stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't notice those before. Do I have to do something about this?
And I'm going, oh, I have a breakout. Oh no, everyone saw it. Yeah.
Yes. And that was part of their thing in Wisconsin too. Yeah. And I bet a lot of people are, that's where this whole big tirade started from, was kind of feeling sad for men that can't wear makeup because cover up their breakouts. yay for makeup, but we're all getting it because we're all wearing the masks. It's just like
Yeah, there's some term for
bacteria
mask
party
and
in there.
acne. There's a term for it now. There's a new term. I don't know. We'll have to ask Urban Dictionary.
Oh my God,
Ask
is there
Siri.
really? Okay, hang on. Just kidding. So, what kinds of things do you feel insecure about in your own, and how, and also, I mean, I don't want to make it all about me, but am I like to the extreme, or do you sometimes feel that?
Yeah, no, sure. Always, always. Because I've always been kind of out there, like as far as even when I had my gym, I
Mhm.
was out teaching the classes and personal training. So I needed to look good in gym clothes.
Right. You were
Yeah.
representing.
So, but yet I know why you and I are so comfortable because we know each other, so we don't judge each other.
Right.
That's the
Right.
difference. So when we see someone that we don't know, we come across someone, we quickly judge because that's what we see. That's our filter. But you and I mean, you've seen what my hair looks like when I get out of bed in the morning, and you don't judge. You just laugh at me, and it's like,
I take a picture.
take a picture because I look like a mad scientist.
That's a good one.
But we know each other, so therefore it's unconditional love. We don't judge.
We don't even see it. But
Yeah,
you
we
know
don't
what, though?
notice it.
Speaking of judging other people, isn't it not 100% the truth that every single thing we judge is only things we're insecure about our own selves?
Oh,
Because,
yes.
yeah, so
That's a
it's nothing
biggie.
but a
Yep.
self-judgment right
It is.
there. Yeah.
And it can take us back to where do we remember that hit, in our feelings. We can feel it in our body. So for instance, like I remember when I started first fully communicating with Adam, and I was in my local Target, and I saw these two women. I think I've told you this story. These two women over in those bargain, those baskets, the dollar baskets.
Oh, my favorite. Yes.
And I looked at them. I'm pushing my cotton. I'm looking at them. I'm talking to Adam, but I'm looking at them the way they were dressed. And one woman, her shirt was like 4 sizes too small. Like maybe it was her daughter's shirt that she had on, right? And I'm looking at it, and then, with her little bit of tummy roll hanging out, both of them extremely tight clothing that was, I deemed inappropriate to be out in public in. But they were laughing and cutting and being corny, having a great time. And I kept, Adam said, now look how much fun they're having. You're judging them. Maybe you're jealous because they're more secure about how they feel in their bodies. They're having a great time shopping together.
That is how I feel all the time. It's like, ew, you are disgusting. However, I'm very envious at your carefree attitude. I feel both at the same time.
Yeah. So it's just gets so ingrained in us. I mean, look at the schools telling you what you can and can't wear. It's inappropriate to wear this, and what you can show and can't show. And that's been generation cycle after cycle.
And that, just throwing something else in, that's like gender biased, because like a size 12 shorts for girls are short shorts. Size 12 shorts for boys go down to their knees.
Right.
But that's a whole other story. But yes, we're conditioned to look in certain ways.
Sure.
And I am so ingrained in this fat phobic state. I'm reading all this diet stuff and this intuitive eating, and that's a term, fat phobic. And I didn't even realize, it took me, even though intellectually I know it's true, I still can't make it my core belief that fat is not bad. You think of like a fat wallet, it's great. A fat little puppy, that's great, but when it comes to a person, fat is bad. And people are going to watch this and say, yeah, it is bad. But I challenge you to ask yourself, why is it bad? Why is it bad? It's nothing but a trend in our current society. But I will shake that false belief, but it's still so ingrained. You and I were on that trip and we watched a bunch of movies because, what else is there to do? It was kind of nice. But one of the movies was that trippy one with Jake Gyllenhaal and
Ooh, the one I had to keep getting up and leaving the room. That one.
It's too scary and violent for her. But the beginning of it was like in this art gallery, and it was just an odd like opener to the movie. But there were these and if these words sound offensive or ugly, I don't mean them to. I'd really like to debunk the negative stigma, but I can't deny that these girls were like beyond chubby. Some of them had a good chub and some of them were very overweight. And I don't even understand why they were doing this, but they were naked and dancing with fireworks in their hands.
Yeah, that's right.
And it just, that really affected me that night. I was lying in the bed that night and just crying and being so mad that made me feel so ugly and scared, because I know that doesn't have to be the truth. But that's what it is. That's the current truth right now of the world. And I don't know how to I don't know how to get past that other than just go through it. That's
You
this
have to
lesson of
go.
spirituality. You don't know what's next. You just
You
gotta
don't know what's
have
you
faith.
because that's an attachment for the outcome, and you've got
Mhm.
to let go of that attachment and just be present. Like when we're in Wisconsin, we try to be more present and just focus on today. What are we going to do today?
Yes,
You
we
know,
had no
that's that.
expectations. And I kind of do have that attitude. I don't know if I'm going to keep on getting bigger. My only expectation is that I will come to accept myself no matter where I fall on any spectrum. That's my expectation. And I think that that is a good one. I just,
Yeah,
I'm here to learn self-love and I'll get there, but I don't know where I'm going to land on
right.
there. But I'm still in a place of being very fearful. I don't want to be that fat person. I'm still thinking that
hmm
that is a bad thing.
And where's that fear? Like there's that wall because you're right there at that cusp and you can feel it. You're right there. It's just you
Hmm.
can't see to the other side of it. You can't
I
look over that.
can't.
Like the when we were downtown yesterday and we saw all the neat shrubbery and the hedges, they were like
Right.
triple. It's
Right.
like that. It's right there, just on the
Right.
other side.
It is. It is just
Yeah,
on the other side. And then I'll get
yeah.
there. I just
You want to share so you can help others.
well, not
Yeah.
only that, but these videos are cathartic for me. They are my healing, the releasing of it, and as long as I'm going to be releasing it, then why not share it with other people? Because I do know that, a handful anyway, benefit from this. So, do you, I keep like totally monopolizing this,
No,
but
it's
I want to
okay.
know like what your
The phases I go through.
yeah, I mean, what kind of like physical insecurities? You made a very good point about having to represent at the gym, but that's even that is like a fat phobic kind of thing because you know what I mean? It's like why can't I mean realistically, why can't you be my size and be the owner of a gym out there working
Right.
out? I have my
And
kids
that's
and
true. That's true.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
would judge that even too, because I remember when Adam was born and the pediatrician I chose was very overweight. And I remember judging, well, it's like, dang, you know, or, going to we have this preconceived notion that they have to look a certain way to fit that mold.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And so in owning the gym, there's many years I walked around like in a thong leotard, that
so
era.
cute.
So it's like, and I looked pretty good. But then if I
Yeah.
was going through, we all gain around the holidays, how much I love to bake and I love chocolate.
I know, I
And then
know.
I'd find that I'd change my clothes, what I was wearing.
And did
Like I
you
wear an
feel real bad
oversized
about
shirt.
that?
I
Did you
did. I mean, I knew I'd take it off because I knew where my body needed to be. But now my metabolism, I'll be 60 in a couple of weeks. So my
right, you can't have those
metabolism is
30-year-old
a little different.
expectations.
I'm not working
Yeah.
out 3 hours a day like I was. So I'm not burning it.
And
So
how do
I
you
have
feel
to
about
adjust.
that? Are you
I don't
adjusting like
like it.
mentally?
There are many days I feel like I'm 30 or 40 again.
I know. What the fuck? And
Then
so we're
many
not,
days it's like,
yeah.
where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? They're like on. So they have those moments, but it is about your perception, your vibration that day too, what kind of
Uh-huh.
mood you're in.
Uh-huh.
Like I think we were talking about this yesterday. I remember Elizabeth Taylor telling me, and I'm saying, oh, I don't even want to look in the mirror. When you're putting makeup on, I have to look, at like a 10 magnification or whatever, because I can't have my glasses on to do eye makeup. And I remember her saying, it's all about the perspective. What you do your makeup and then you take your glasses off or step away,
Mm-hmm.
because how sometimes you walk by the mirror and you go, oh, I look pretty good today, and then other days you're going, oh my god, look, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And
I just took before and after pictures. Not even before and after, just one angle versus another angle. I don't even know what possessed me to do that, but I was definitely the swamp creature in one and not so bad in the
yeah,
other. It really
and
is.
it's
I mean, if you can,
constantly subconscious is being all around us. Like I told you this morning watching some documentary or whatever, and this gentleman was having his makeup touched up in between,
mm-hmm.
that when you and I were to sit down and watch the TV show or an interview, even though some of these men look very natural, they may still be touched up and have makeup on and everything else. So we look at them and go, oh, they sure don't look their age.
I know, and that's deceiving.
Yeah.
However, it sets us up for expectations of
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Having said that, I'm wondering, why I resist, like, let's go back to like the beauty products of being younger. We spoke about getting injections
Mm-hmm.
and also about I found this face cream. I'm like attracting this stuff, and I'm so cheap. It was only $15 and it got rave reviews. And Carrie said she'd take me out to go get face stuff that I don't even know about. Hydroxy. I don't even know. Anyway, I have that date with her. And and I've spent so long feeling like, don't be vain about your age, own it. Be 50 or whatever it is. And I'm like, but you know what? If it doesn't hurt me and it makes me feel good, then why not? Because I definitely, dye my hair. I got serious gray hair. And when I didn't have, when my hands were so messed up, I put my fake fingernails on and they made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And why not? I like to wear makeup. So I don't know why I would feel guilt or like I shouldn't do that or it's too vain if I want to go ahead and, plump myself or whatever it is. I'm too cheap. I don't know what's out there, but I won't always be super broke. I'll be able to afford some treatments. So I'm feeling like it's okay to do it.
Let's get a DIY kit and I'll practice on you.
Oh no. Okay. I do like free.
But I think a lot of it's a balance of everything. I think, of course, because we know people who are not the most physically attractive. We know people out in the world or in the past that are not physically attractive, but they just radiate love.
Oh, that's
so they're on the inside, they just radiate it out. We don't judge them like whoever it is, say Mother Teresa or whoever.
Right.
Totally. We wouldn't expect her to come out in her stilettos.
Just like think of like, well, I'm going to go with my dad. I don't need him to be an attractive person. I love my daddy because he's my daddy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to be.
But it is a reflection of something about our own self-confidence, our own self-image to break through. I can look back at my teenage years, insecure, because we all get complimented. Oh, your hair looks so pretty today. You did a great job with your makeup. Oh, did you lose weight? All that. So we get,
That's a very good point. I mentioned that yesterday because, I'm like hyper aware of my body and food and all of this stuff because it's my current thing. And Carrie had asked me, how do you feel, or did you feel better when you were thinner or whatever? And I'm like, absolutely. One of the reasons is because of that expectation put on me by both society and myself for following along. And I would get so many compliments. Wow, you look great. You're doing a good job. What's your secret? So I got so much, what's that word? Positive reinforcement, that choosing to let all of that go, all of this external praise and admiration and props and being, proud of me and proud of myself. I'm like, that's what I'm surrendering. I'm giving up the control that those attitudes, those whatever have on me, those expectations have on me. I still have them on myself. So I'm very uncomfortable right now. And you know what I was thinking? You and I have had this conversation before a long time ago, and I realized that I was incorrect. This is a false belief that I'm shedding now. But you know how Heather and I do similar things? Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that she's kind of promoting, or was for a while, is that it's okay to be spiritual and have like a chemical imbalance in your brain, and you may need antidepressants or anti-anxiety meds or whatever it is, because people become so judgmental about, oh, well, if you're healed, then you don't need that shit or whatever. And I felt that way for the longest time about weight. I was like, and my attitude was, anybody that's fat is not healed, because healing, being thin or, within that BMI, not necessarily thin, that was health. But that's not true. And I feel like there's so many of us spiritual people that have this little extra cush. But, again, I'm not saying that you got to be either way. I'm just saying that there's not a correct way. You can be chubby and be spiritual and on a path to healing. That does not equate health. That does not equate physical health or mental health or spiritual health. Mm-hmm. So remember, I used to say that all the time.
Yeah. But our body does have a vibration. It carries, our organs carry a vibration. Everything carries a vibration. So we know when we're in a feel good place, not that we can't compensate in one area. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if I made, 2 cakes today, I go exercise more to kind of like change the vibration, because sugar can pull me down. It just pulls me down and I'm like, I feel yucky. So it does affect our body in a way, but everyone's different. Everyone's totally different.
That is true, because I absolutely 100% agree with what you just said. But because I'm on this intuitive eating journey, that doesn't work for everybody. My husband's always like, this is the way. And I know you're not saying that, but for me, that would be like a restriction or making a deal. It would be like, okay, if I'm going to do the 2 cakes, then I'm going to compensate with the extra exercise. Although I've been in that place and it worked for me when I was there. And I don't mean to say I've evolved beyond that. I just realized that that's not for me. It was too hard for me to get into that place. And
well, that's the beauty of you, Carrie, because you don't like follow normal rules, standard USDA rules.
I know. I really am trying.
You get your own stamp.
Trying to find my stamp of approval. It's still, floating out.
And it is. Somewhere. And, those of us, and me included, if we're snacking or eating carbs, or is there an imbalance in my body, in my organs, in my deficiency somewhere, or is it out of nervousness or boredom?
Yes.
It's just kind of getting in there and feeling it out. If you're enjoying it, like we talked about, if you sit down and enjoy the meal because it's pretty, right? Then you can appreciate it more than just, oh yeah, we said that yesterday. Like, especially when kids are little, we would eat while we're preparing or eating off their plates and then not count it.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's like, it's like mindless count eating. The rest of their cheeseburger or whatever. So we're not even paying attention, but we're feeling some kind of need there.
Yes. And I just last night, you're going to laugh at this. I made spaghetti. Remember, I needed spaghetti out. Yep. I finally made it. Which, is probably a better idea because it would have been $20 a plate out there. And
you did
20 cents a plate here. So I ate some last night with my kids and just being in this family atmosphere and talking and, engaging with them. My meal was gone before I realized it. And I was like, man, I missed out on eating all that spaghetti I just ate. And I didn't get disappointed in myself. I was like, so I'm going to learn from this. So today I had more spaghetti for breakfast, but I turned the TV off, and sometimes I'll eat with my eyes closed because I want to savor everything and not be distracted. Because I'm really learning, I'm not going to be like this forever where I sit there and eat with my eyes closed, but for now,
put your mask up here. That's all you got to do. We'll try that. We'll try that next time we go out.
Okay. So big difference between not paying attention and just inhaling a bowl versus, because I didn't finish it this morning. I said, okay, I'm done.
On that fact, was it last year I looked trying to find a restaurant, where you eat in the dark.
Oh, that's right.
And it would already close. The one in Houston had already closed down. But that is like something is it's intuitive eating. Because you're smelling it, you're feeling it, you're really getting into the food. And not caring about the mess because it's acceptable.
You're gonna wear a babe.
Probably no take-home containers either. So that would be a fun experiment.
I know, huh?
Right. Just eating in the dark or putting a mask over our eyes when we go out for salad again and see if we appreciate it differently. If there's something different.
I know I do. I
use intuitive eating a different way.
There you go. Well, I've done that experiment where, it really does change it. And you do pay attention, all that other stuff.
Now, eating in a dark closet doesn't count. If you're a closet eater.
I've actually been doing that. But it's because I don't want to do this, inhaling in front of my kids. It's, they're not part of this journey with me. So I really have literally been a closet eater at times just to keep this part away from them.
Yeah. Or I put it like a bag of M&Ms and I have them open in the pantry. So if I go by the pantry, I'll take a handful or whatever.
That's a sneaky way for those things to get us. At least you got it in the pantry. Yes. My husband always leaves like a bowl of nuts on the counter. I'm like, stop sabotaging me. I don't even want the nuts. And I'm going to walk by and eat them. Go, well, they're full of protein. I'm like, I don't care if they're full of protein. I don't want them here.
So it's a feeling of lack, but it could be, coming in on a cellular level too. We all have it, but you're beautiful. You're perfect.
I'm trying to get there.
It's how we see ourselves. Like I said, you can look and how we dress. There is an art to dressing ourselves. I don't have it down yet.
I don't have it down yet either. In fact, that's another thing that's sad is that I got a closet full of brand new clothes with tags on them because I believed I was going to keep on losing weight. Well, I went right back the other way, and I don't know, I haven't stepped on a scale, but I feel like I have surpassed already. So I don't think I'm ever going to fit in those. And that makes me a little bit sad. I have to go to my fancy Walmart and get myself some damn leggings. And I hate this part.
And it's sad, not just because of clothes, but you don't want them to go to waste. Because you and I both do not like waste. That's something we have in common.
Not even clothes you get off the dollar rack.
We got to save those free United socks.
10 pairs of the same ones that you don't even wear because they're not comfortable.
But so that's something it's in us that it has to, and that's okay. But if it truly is a balance of the spiritual, the physical, all of it coming together. Because when we can feel good one day, and then all of a sudden you can drop 4 days later and go, rah, 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 look at I feel so blah.
That's true. I'm in like a perpetual dip right now, trying to climb my way out, and I will. Those charts you always list, they're usually about grief.
Yeah.
But it can apply.
You are, and we're grieving our body.
Right.
We're grieving different things. And thank God you're not off on using, numbing yourself some other way. You're like saying, I'm just going to try this and do that. I want to do this. And you're working through it.
Yes, because I've gone through so many things, I have the confidence to know that this discomfort is serving a purpose. I'm shedding crap right now, but I'm deep in it. So tell me what you think about all of the photo editing I do.
What? The one you did yesterday? Yes, thank you so much. Carrie always asks me, is this one acceptable or are my eyes open first? Can't correct
it's a real challenge. We're going to do a session with Sarah because she needs full attention.
I don't know how to take selfies. I don't even know. Like if I try to open my eyes on purpose for, a photo, it's like.
But you know what? That one I just posted, you're getting quite a few likes. You're just adorable. You're so happy and shiny.
Well, see, I look at it and I'm just laughing, going, "What the heck?"
Yeah, you're a good sport because you'll let me post ones that you are, like, okay, I don't love it, but it's okay. My eyes are open. Go with it.
You don't see me posting selfies no, I don't.
I send them to me first.
I send them to you and go, can you fix this one a little bit?
And okay, so what is your attitude about that though? Do you feel like a fraud, or you kind of like with me, it's like, fuck it, it makes me feel good, I'm gonna do it. I mean, what's your attitude?
I know lots of people in their 20s that do it and they don't
need it. That's true.
So what the heck? And everyone on TV is blurred. You got Donald Trump is blurred right here, so you can't see his scalp. It's a permanent blur. So why not?
We're not staying inside that you can't ever see me. We live our lives, but I kind of feel like
plenty.
It's like
I earned this.
That is it too. I've earned stuff. And that same night when we were watching those girls dance around their big old bellies, I was starting to Google
the movie though. I don't
know because it's weird art. I don't know how that correlated to the movie. But what I was thinking, and I started to Google at 3:00 in the morning in my insomnia, was about the C-section. Mamas, you have this, I don't know what it's called, but everybody, I mean, there's so many hits on the C-section belly. But what made me sad about that was that all of the hits were how to get rid of it, how to fix it, how to flatten it. And it's like, I'm thinking, well, how about how to embrace it? I grew fucking people in my body. And I feel like I'm being criticized and punished for that chore rather than, celebrated for this battle scar of, breathing life into these
bringing twins in. Yeah.
So, I mean, that, right there, it's like all of the things that wanted to help you, wanted to change you because now you're broken and unfixed. That's sad.
That's true. And you know what? And I think you're already aware of that past life, but where you were in some type of prison or prisoner of war or concentration camp or something, where you're just like a walking skeleton. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like you said, okay, well, this time I'm just going to go in it. I'm going to enjoy food this time because you were deprived on a cellular level of anything and no control. You had no control when you're in prison of some sort.
Right.
You're complete surrender. Like, if you get like some slop, for a meal, that's it. You appreciate it.
I know you had to eat out of the same bowl you crapped in, and you were happy for it.
Oh my God.
That's terrible. That was the concentration camps. And I also
go ahead.
Well, you're right. I mean, I've had lives like that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so connected to the Mariana, I feel like that I was, didn't have food in that particular one.
Yeah.
And
it was more of a meat and potatoes or type of eating.
Mariana was, or was it? Yeah. She said that Eric used to bring me bread. And I'm like, what an unusual gift for a John to bring his hooker. with some bread. But being where I'm at now and knowing that these, I feel like I didn't have food.
Carbs,
so probably a really nice gift for me.
And bread didn't need to be lasted. You didn't have to worry about it rotting. as
Right.
opposed to a hunk of meat. Here, here's a hunk of horse, Carrie.
Here's some jerky, babe. I love you. True love always. Well, you know, garlic bread is the way to my heart.
Because I knew you weren't eating the flowers off the cactus or anything. You know, it's like, I know that.
Eating the peyote off the cactus.
So, and that's another reason, like you and I with our bread, we love the bread. So it takes
Yes, and you get
familiar.
sick. Huh.
A lot of things, and that's all vibration too. So I have to pay attention that I know, especially like with peppers and different things, what's going to upset my stomach. So I have to kind of plan it. Not that I don't love the taste, but it's like, is it worth it? I already know it's going to upset my stomach.
And that's exactly what I'm learning to do, because I really only know the difference between hunger and stuffed. You know,
Yeah.
And for real. I mean, you're like, well, I can't eat peppers and I can't eat cantaloupe or whatever it is. And I'm like, how do you know this stuff? So I got to figure that out.
That's trial and error, right? It's kind of like when we, you know, with our babies, you can only feed them. You can't go feed them a Thanksgiving feast. You know, go.
That's
I
true.
wonder what upset their stomach. You got to do it one time. It was the squash. I know
the
it.
Sweet potatoes. I know it.
The yam.
The Brussels sprouts.
And so it is. There are tests, though. I told you about that. I did that a couple of years ago, but you know, I kind of like dug in. It's more fun to do it. You can do muscle testing to see what foods you react to and different things, and then of course. Depends on the brands of different things too, because some of them have certain things in it, right? Some people can't consume artificial sweeteners, and others it doesn't seem to impact them as.
I love my chemicals.
So everyone's different, it's figuring out you. But there is, I think it's called Everlywell or Everywell.
The testing place.
Yeah,
you know what? We must have both searched it, or you sent me a link or something, because it keeps coming up in my feed.
Oh yeah,
and I'll click it every once in a while, so it will stay.
They'll probably be having Christmas specials or whatever.
Christmas. Find out what you're allergic to, babe.
But there's all different home tests you can do now if you really want to know. Now, do they impact me as much? No, because I think I'm really sensitive also to garlic and mushrooms. I love mushrooms. It's like because they're so bland, but there's something in it. Yeah, they're so bland. You know, I won't burp them up. But so there's different things you kind of like. It's kind of like watching TV. We know what shows we like, you know, but that doesn't mean you can't go try different shows.
Yes. And I watch you eat because, you know, I eat with you all the time, and you don't really deny yourself. I mean, you know, I know you'd rather get the French toast over the omelet many times, but if you really, really wanted that French toast, I think you'd get it.
Yeah, I probably would. But I know that I feel better if my stomach, not my stomach, but I feel, you know, when you feel bloated, you just feel blah. Like it's kind of like after we gorge after a holiday meal, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so miserable" for like 2 hours until it digests.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
And not eating late at night, that really affects me too. For some people, it's bad dreams and all different things. So paying attention to your food patterns, and sometimes nobody likes to journal, but to journal and say, "This is what I had today," because it may not show up until tomorrow. I remember on Oprah back, you know, Oprah is really honest about her up and down weight her whole life. She's very honest about it, and all her now she's in a place, she's like what, 65, 68? I know she's older than me. Where she talked about how she'd love to have her glass of wine at night. And then she realized the morning she woke up with the fog were the mornings that she had the glass of wine the night before.
It affected her that much.
It affected her that much, where she wasn't ready to be at work and to, you know, to take on and obviously do her role at work, to be clear-minded. So then it was like, it's no different than our kids. You know, if they're going to have their state, you know, test or the tax test or whatever, you'll get a note home, please make sure they eat a healthy breakfast. Well, so shouldn't they eat healthy every morning? Only twice a year.
I know. Well, the teachers want to get paid for the good test results.
Well, that's true, but you can see how the impact, how it really makes a difference.
Yes.
In the U.S., I mean, we think of donuts, we think of police. I don't know why, right? Don't we?
I think of the clearance rack at Kroger, but that's just
the
me.
Wahoo rack. Let's get the $4 pie mark down to like $1.45.
Yes, sold.
Because you don't mind the old bread. It takes you back to that, right?
Oh, yeah. Such a sucker.
Isn't that funny? And a lot of it for me, my parents were raised during the Depression, so they had the lack. So if we had a loaf of bread and there were a couple moldy pieces, you just got rid of the
cut that
mold.
off. I know it.
So it's kind of like you pick up different patterns. Some you can't stand anymore, and others are more comfortable and go, oh, I really like that feeling. It takes me back. Like fudge for me, because my mom always made homemade fudge.
Yes.
For Easter and Christmas. So that takes me to that comfort of like, oh, chocolate, good, warm, love. Yum.
And so why, I guess because that same era, we don't like to waste stuff.
No,
and
my dad, my mom would whatever roast beef. If she made a big roast, it was going to turn into 6 different meals the rest of the week. That's the way it was.
But you know what? I'm trying not to eat off everybody else's plate anymore. I'll just put it in my to-go box. What is that?
It's a feeling of lack. Like we're not going to have another meal or not enough or whatever. And like the bacon yesterday, right?
Right. You couldn't throw it away. We had to make sure it went somewhere to a good home.
Okay, here, Carrie, you want my bacon?
Yes, thank you. Carrie pulled out her bacon from her sandwich again. I go, I have bacon. Everybody's giving me their damn bacon. You guys are supposed to help me. I'm just kidding.
We love you and we know you like it. And we don't want it to go to waste either.
Right. Well, that's okay. I took it all home. It's in the fridge.
Did you see other people were eating off others? It wasn't just you. If you did, I'll tell you later, but it was everyone.
Okay.
COVID or no COVID. It's okay.
I know. What's wrong with us?
Because we love each other, so we don't think twice of it. If I were with someone I didn't know and love so much,
I would judge you and your COVID
I would not eat off that meal, and I would not even ask. Right?
Right.
Where you're like, oh no, there's food left. I'm going to take it home and make another meal out of it.
I'll just microwave it, and it'll kill all those germs.
That's why you have a microwave.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to I don't see anything wrong as long as you're feeling physically fine. And now if we have heart, blood pressure, different things going on, that changes our body chemistry.
Yes, that's true. That is true. And that's one of the things that I learned in those groups, those intuitive eating groups. Now, there are people that have health issues. In fact, one of mine is I feel like my back, how I had a lot of back problems. So to me, I feel like this extra weight absolutely exacerbates the potential for my back going out. So other than that, though, all of my other stuff, my blood work and all that, just the regular stuff was okay. So being overweight is not detrimental to my health, although it could be to my back. But
and you're still young. You're still young. You're only 17.
I know.
And I'm only 22. But
I was going to say something about the, do you have something? Because I have something.
I forgot. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, I promise I'm not really fishing for this information because it's going to make me feel uncomfortable. But I'm going to ask you for it anyway because anybody that's watching and they're in my position who I feel like my shame is so outlandish, but I feel like my entire journey has been like that. Like I feel things to the extreme. Like I went fucking nuts over Michael and the whole, everything for me is to the power of 10. So I'm not sure, but I feel like my shame and self-loathing is in that same caliber, but I have nobody to compare with. I can only know my own feelings.
Yes.
But if there's anybody else that's listening, well, I should do this myself. I was going to say, what would you say to me if I sat there and said, I'm so ugly and hideous? Because we kind of talked about that yesterday. Remember, I was like, look how big that is.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't see it. Now,
do you not see it?
I did not see it. But I don't, it's not a priority. It's like when you said you had that, the blemish, the pimple on your face, what?
No, it's the end of my world.
See? Because to me, I always have a pimple, so it's not even a big thing. See what I mean?
Yes. I need to have that same conversation.
What you focus on. But I would even suggest, not, you don't have to write a list, but thinking to yourself, okay, what are some characteristics I like about myself? Could be it doesn't have to be physical. What do I like about myself? You're always shiny. You're happy. You're laughing. You're honest. You're true. Okay. That's awesome. Secondly, and then you make a list of a few things that you like about your physicality. What is it you like? I can tell you right now, I'm always envious of your hair your
I don't
smile,
blame
and
you.
your eyes.
I gotta admit, Fairy Girl called. She says I made you Hollywood. She did kind of give me a nice mug here. Although, look at me. Look at how. Look. Oh God. Do not pause it right there, you guys.
We can all do that.
Right. Don't you dare!
It's almost Thanksgiving,
Got my built-in waddle. But man, if not for this, I mean, I'm like blown up. I do the self-talk in the mirror. It's okay.
It's okay.
Because you can be any size. You're beautiful. Who cares about the package? But even the package is okay. Just because you don't fit into that box doesn't mean you don't have to have your own.
And who do we know that is absolutely stunning and perfect without a stitch and makeup on?
Nobody.
Okay.
All the airbrushed people in the magazines.
Yeah. Just like when we were in Wisconsin, I got on my phone and I said, look at this movie star. This is her without makeup.
That is so true.
Look at her. It's like, oh, that's her. Oh my God.
Yeah, we were actually looking at procedures because that's where this started.
Because they're all coming out and talking about their procedures they're having because they probably get them free by endorsing them probably anyway. But
that's what I'm going to do.
You probably could. Yeah.
No, but you're absolutely right. Sarah was looking at dolled up versus non-dolled up. And even people that are doing things like, I don't know, beauty stuff like peels or whatever it is. I mean, they molt, they turn red and they molt. And
I'm always molting. Who knows why? I was out in the sun a little bit. We got one yesterday from that little bit of sun on us. I started peeling.
Really? Oh, you're molting. Well, but those pictures are amazing. And so you got to remind yourself that
is not the norm.
That's not the norm.
Even when I was a teenager, we had the 17 magazine and there's another one, I think it was called Teen. And it was like, oh, I want to look like her because she's got everything going for her. Not real. Now I remember even going, because of course we didn't have regular hair salons. There were beauty salons, where they did the perms and, and in the set or whatever it's called,
right?
And such a small town. And I remember going to this barbershop and asking for the Farrah Fawcett haircut. Not knowing. We didn't have, up to date encyclopedias about hair salons or anything like that.
Did you get the Farrah feathers? Did you do it?
He said, and he told me, it was a man, right, in the barbershop. And he said, you don't understand what they do on the movie sets. This image that you brought to me is not gonna. Takes a lot of upkeep.
It's not just a haircut.
And he was trying to explain to me between every cut, the price spraying and redoing her feathers and checking and doing everything. It's not like through the whole 2-hour movie she looked like that. You know what I mean? That was my 15-year-old brain or whatever thinking that. And I was like, huh? And it really snapped something. And I thought, oh. I bet you just naturally look like that somehow with a curling iron or whatever.
Isn't that interesting? Our preconceptions that when you have one of those shattered, you're like, no way.
I know.
I didn't. I mean, now it's so obvious, but it's like before you get to that place of it's like I can't even believe I didn't catch that.
And you know how much time I spent with my curling iron? That was like the longer you kept it plugged in, the hotter it got.
Okay. How much hair did you lose?
It was that trying to do that flip. And you do it, you roll it and you pull it out so it looked like a hot dog bun.
Yes,
all the way down.
I know what you mean.
And you get it, and you break it. Or how many times I had burns all over from because it might be I don't know, 500 degrees for all I know. So you go through that process and then you realize, it
ain't all it's cracked up to be.
No, but look at a lot of it. Yeah, was
the things we torture ourselves for. In fact, yesterday, because I'm in this place of, where I'm at. I told Carrie, because I was feeling very insecure about the video before. And that's why what I tapped with Tiffany about. So this time I said, don't you dare try to accommodate me. This is my insecurity. I get it. You set up your studio wherever you want or any way you want. I still had to go in there and set her straight with that camera level, but I got my point across.
Well, I would have backed you up on that one.
Yeah,
you can't have a camera like breast level.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
So anyway, I won that little battle. But oh fuck, where was I going with that one? I derailed myself.
Okay. But also too, the impact that you and I both had in our young years of the way men treated us, looked at us, and how we interpreted like we weren't good enough or XYZ. Because how many times, you and I wouldn't put up with this now or to the same degree, but how many times I remember would be like with a guy dating a guy or whatever, and he would comment about other women or
My
look at other
dad.
women. Or
My
your
dad would see
your
like a
dad.
pretty tall blonde and go, wow, she's beautiful. And he was a young man, I get it. But I was never the tall, thin blonde. I was always this short, round brunette. So my dad even set a beauty standard for me.
Yeah, he played that role to bring, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was never told, I remember one time my mother told me that I was pretty. One time. I don't remember any other time. I'm not saying she didn't, but I do recall that. And I was like, oh, you look so pretty today. And it's like, did I not look pretty before? That's the child mentality. Yeah. What happened?
How did that affect you? Both my parents.
It made me very self-conscious because, it made me feel good that she said it, but my parents were not good communicators because of their generation.
Right.
That they were wonderful people, loving, generous, kind, caring people, but they weren't where we try to instill in our generation, try to break that pattern and say, we love you no matter what you choose in life, no matter how you dress or how you look or anything else. We just want you to feel good about yourself and take care of yourself. And sometimes moms know better, but then again, all kids go through that funky stage.
Let me segue. Let me use what you just said to segue, and you probably already know where I'm going with this, because I think about my girl Layla, and she's in such a I believe that her calling, or at least one of them, is to really like promote, endorse, whatever word you want to use. And I don't know all the terminology, so sorry if I don't say it right, but all of the LBHGT,
whatever. Well, ask Siri.
But all of the different genders, and she likes the fluidity of it. And she's been dressing like a boy. In fact, she was wearing some of Carrie's tank tops today. She's so boyed out. But my little girl, is going through this boy thing. And just what Sarah said is that you be and you look like whoever you want to be. We accept you. We love you. We're beautiful. And I do. I tell her both things. I tell her that, and when she's dressed like a boy, you look like a cartoon. She's just this cute little sprite. She looks like a little boy. She's adorable. And then, when her hair's down and she's all gorgeous with her makeup on, I gave her props for that too. But while I do like to let her know that she is, beautiful, or she's too young to be handsome. So she's cute. But I don't want to emphasize that too much, because I want her to value herself in all of the other ways as well. Right. So I don't put too much emphasis on that. However, when there's an occasion, I do give her compliments no matter what she's wearing.
Yeah, you're great with your kids about that.
I'm very proud of myself.
You broke that pattern. Mm-hmm. You broke it, and you should be proud of yourself. Yes. Because you want your children to be proud of themselves. Not proud because you are proud of them.
Exactly. I use that all the time. I say, I'm proud of you, but mostly I want you to be proud of yourself. I want them to take ownership. I don't want them to live a life of expectations, external.
No, we have to. And that's where this COVID's helped in breaking that, with all generations, to say, oh, you don't have to be going to this school or doing this or XYZ. Sports. The kids were out of sports for a long time, and all of their after school programs, they didn't have this these letters after their name.
Yeah. Right? You know what? My husband and I really tried to push our kids into doing something. We just felt pressure from society to do soccer, karate, chess club, whatever, do something. And we would feel like failures as parents, but that's just not who my kids are. And this COVID thing, that's another little silver lining, is like that, just leveled out that playing field, and that, we don't feel like we got to keep up with the Joneses, because the Joneses aren't really doing it either right now. And, we're surviving. I know we're surviving. Some kids thrive with that stuff, but my kids don't need it. I'm not doing them a disservice by pushing them out there in that world to do something.
So everyone signed up to have this experience, so to learn from it. So we signed up how we look, maybe not as much how we perceive ourselves, but we have these things that we're working through. Not looking 60 sounds really, every decade I say that. Oh, 30 sounds old. Oh, 40.
I know you just got done telling me I'm young. I'm like, Sarah, I'm just about to walk through the 50-year-old door. That's not that young.
But 60 is like, I'm going to be getting Medicare soon. That's like, oh, that's a whole nother, even though, because I'm already getting, the specials that they have when we go out to eat, I already get discounts
Right, you
because
get
it's
the
either
Denny's
55 over. I already get all that. But
Yes,
yet then there's
so
other
you're so
times
right.
like, I don't feel like that,
It's like you just totally feel like both, don't you?
Yeah.
You feel
Yes.
19 and you feel 79 sometimes.
Yeah. And I know a lot of adults I was around as a kid would say that. Well, you don't feel like, you just feel like yourself. You just want to feel like yourself. But they weren't as comparing. Now with social media, with television, with everything we can Google, you can compare. It's like I was talking, was it yesterday, about Jane Fonda? How she uses all her tapes and things that she uses to pull back.
Right?
Was that a show that you like that she's in with Lily
The one where
Tomlin?
they make the dildos.
Yeah, that was so pull back with the elastic in the neck and doing all that. And if that makes them feel good, then so be it.
Yes, and I did, a million years ago on Shiny, I interviewed Joan Rivers, and I was asking about all of her plastic surgeries, and she said, if it makes you feel good, then by all means you go do it. But if you're still trying to, feed something afterwards, then something ain't right. And I kind of applied that to myself recently, because even though I was, I just got done saying how I got all that praise for losing all that weight, I was so close to the goal I didn't even know I had, because I kept increasing my goal, and I was, I was kicking ass. But I still wasn't happy. I would surpass that goal. And even though I was getting happier, I was never satisfied.
Yes.
So weight
It's
weight
like
loss wasn't the answer. It was, it was self-acceptance. So
in that it's like a byproduct. You feel better about yourself no matter what when you work on the introspection. I was gonna say, it's like money. You know how we all raise that. Oh, well, just because they have money doesn't mean they're happy. Look at all the people we know, the rich and famous. They have all kinds of issues. All kinds of issues. You apply it to the same thing. You just apply it to the same thing.
And we just choose different routes in order to learn and grow.
Yes.
And yours was losing Adam, and you had to surrender that control of trying to control how you can take care of your boy who is just not gonna have it. Adam was gonna do his thing. And and in other ways too, that was clearly your biggest one. But one of mine is through my body. That's what I chose to learn and grow and surrender and self-accept and teach. And we all have different ones, and that was mine.
And as we get older too, our skin changes. So we just notice it more. I don't want to say we hyper focus on it, but we do. We can't help it. When things are like aching and hurting and things are shifting, we just notice it.
Yes.
It's a natural progression.
Yeah, you may have a 17-year-old attitude or a 33-year-old attitude.
But then you get out and you're like,
stand up, and my body is not 33 years old.
Right. But I am so for, and I've had Botox. I play with whatever I want to play with. But I know there's a limit and a balance on everything. Well, I got to have that balance, because if not, you're still searching for more.
It makes you feel good. You're like, I did it. I feel good.
Yes. It's like, I got a pencil in my eyebrows. I just have to.
Right.
I will look albino if I didn't. You know what I mean? If I didn't wear mascara and pencil in my eyebrows. So that's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that.
Yes, because, we do live here. We do live where we take pictures, and we do live where there's TV. We don't live in some, tree people, with the monkeys or whatever it is.
Right. We wouldn't have a mirror anyway. It wouldn't make a difference.
Exactly. So that's
my point. Cover all the mirrors.
So, when you see like these old, sun weathered people that are probably younger than I am, and some of them, but they don't care. That's their culture, and that's just fine for them. But I see myself also putting myself in that box. Well, if they don't care, why should I? Well, I'm not in that box.
You're not in that box.
Cameras, and
you're in a big, outskirts of a huge city.
I'm in a big
where we can wear shorts and flip flops all year round.
That's right. That's
totally different. We can't.
I'm not a tree person.
Not a tree person. And you can't wear huge cable knit sweaters all year round in Uggs.
I try with my gray sweatshirt.
But when it's 110 degrees, it just doesn't work. But I think it's just whatever you feel good about, as long as you're not. It's not impacting your life. Like I would have such horrible breakouts around my cycle as a teenager, where I wouldn't want to go out. Because there weren't the products yet to cover, You know, you had the Maybelline or the CoverGirl that, you know, you'd have a big blob or whatever on. But there wasn't the product. So it's like, it's like, okay, I'm not going out. I just
Maybe
won't go
this
out
is what my point was. I think you may
I
have
miss
jogged
out.
my memory when I went
Okay.
back to the video, is that as uncomfortable as I am, I'm not letting it stop me or slow me down. I'm getting out there and I'm
Exactly.
facing my fears and I'm trying to make myself as little as possible, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
But
So
that's where the inner confidence comes out of you. We see it. Everyone that knows you sees that confidence coming out. You just don't. You're not
really,
feeling it.
okay.
It feels like you're just not owning that and go, I feel good.
I don't own it because I don't have it yet, but I'm working on it.
And we do it to ourselves too, because it's like, oh, I want to wear those jeans. You put them on and go, oh my God, they're so tight. I can't. They hurt. I can't. Then I just I sink.
I know. I had to go buy leggings.
There you go. It's the year of yoga pants anyway.
It sure is. And I also tell myself I'm not the only one that gained weight this past year. I think collectively humanity gained probably like 1 million pounds.
That's right.
It's a drop in the bucket compared to the rest of y'all put together.
That's right. It's the whole part of it. Everyone's got to work through their stuff in some way. Yours is working through the food. You know,
the food,
you
the
have
body,
beautiful skin. Other people are working through skin issues. I mean, you have your skin issues with your hands. Just think if you had it on your face, you probably wouldn't go out. You wouldn't do your videos. You wouldn't see what I mean.
You're right. Fairy Girl knew that I'm that insecure that I wouldn't do videos without, you know, with feeling like, you know.
And Zoom is wonderful because I told you right before I put it on FaceTime to check my lighting, and I look and go, ah! The color was off.
I look like me. Just kidding.
The lighting was off, and I just my neck was all crepey, you know. But you just change it to a different platform, and it changes it. And we're not professionals; we're just everyday people.
That's right.
We're just everyday people that, you know.
But you know, all those professionals have our same insecurities and. You know,
sure they do. Or Jane Fonda wouldn't be wearing this elastic thing pulling her skin back underneath her hair and everything else.
Right.
You know, or fake nail. I mean,
you know what? I kind of aspire. I want to be old and sexy like her. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how old she is. She's got to be 80, huh?
I know. She's awesome.
Oh my gosh, and she's still acting.
I know.
Yeah, she's got the mental.
We'll be zooming, and I'll have
all the mental wellness too. So see. Yeah,
I'm going to be zooming in 20 years.
I have duct tape all over. Duct tape.
We'll get some alien help in the future with some kind of collagen magic. I don't know.
I'm just going to put big fans on. Like Fabio.
The magnets.
All over.
That's why you say Fabio, because of Amy's friend yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't even know if Fabio's still with us or not. Is he still around?
Oh, I don't know.
The guy that did all the book jackets?
Mm-hmm, I remember him.
The fan, yeah.
Yum, yum.
You know, he was yum with his hair.
My grandma, she had all the books.
Look at Teresa Caputo's, her fingernails. Identify with her her platinum blonde bouffant and her nails.
And her nails, yeah.
Because if you did away with that, she'd probably feel more insecure.
Yes, yeah, you know what? And it's such a it's not very up to date, but it's her thing, and it makes her feel good. So you go, girl. You put all the can of hairspray in your hair.
Worry about the ozone. Don't even worry about the ozone.
There's no CDCs in that one. CFCs, whatever those three letters are. It's not the disease control, the chloroform, CBD. Yeah, that's what I've got going on.
The letters. We're talking about the letters again at the end.
The ABC, HIJ, one of those.
Elemental P.
Right.
Stick with that one. Is there anything else? We could go on for another couple hours.
I know, we really could. This is basically our breakfast. When we go out to breakfast, except, we've got like 15 coffee cream containers to the side stacked up. And we just talk our shit about, ourselves, each other, whoever it is. We figure out what triggered us that week and why it happened. And, just being an observer of just even celebrities or whatever, just the nonsense that we see or the things we admire. Like here's one just quickly is the picture of there's one Katy Perry. I don't know if you saw, she took like a post-pregnancy, post-delivery picture. I'm so proud of her. It was the most hideous picture ever because she's in like all of this like like special underwear to keep all her body parts in, you know. It's
Oh, like
very
Spanx.
it's very
Spanx by Sara.
unflattering. Huh? Yes, yes. And there was another one too. Who's the other girl? I can't remember her name. Oh, she's one
Singer?
of the singers. Anyway,
Okay.
she showed us she's walking around town and she's chubby and she's embracing it. And that's the reality. And I'm so proud of her because she's somebody that my daughter admires. God, I wish I could get her name right now.
Mhm.
But
No, that's awesome. More
yes.
authentic. They're showing their authenticity.
Yes, they're, you know, it's
Versus
like the young
my
people are getting tired of those same expectations.
my
You know?
generation growing up, everything in my family, of course, my mom, I remember my mom was just like everything about the Kennedys. That was the thing, because that was probably on all the magazines and what was on the news.
Mhm.
Of course, looking at a black and white TV, they all look great, right? But everything was like, you know, her style, everything about her. And my mom embraced all that. She loved Harper's Bazaar magazine and Vogue,
Mhm.
that very classic look,
Mhm.
right? Now that was going out. At home, it was just gym shorts, t-shirt, or sweatshirt like me.
Right, the
But
reality.
but that was how so I kind of picked up on that, and not just that, but how they grieved, because obviously the Kennedys have had multiple losses and continue still to have losses in the family.
Weird.
But Catholic, I was obsessed with light blue eyes. Of course, I have light green eyes. I appreciate my light green eyes. And Adam, you know, inherited my light green. And my granddaughter has the light green. So we're the only ones with the light green. But growing up all the way through my 20s, I wanted light blue eyes.
Really?
I was not happy with my green. I associated something to do with the light blue with models on magazine covers growing up, and with the Kennedys, because they're all but the, you know, the glass blue eyes. And I remember when you could change them, I went to like a blue eye, but it looked too fake. And it was like, I was so obsessed with it because I wanted to fit into that image because it felt safe.
That's a perfect example of what you meant earlier by, you know, you judge people. And I was like, you only judge the ones in the places that you lack, because I never had issues with my eye color. So I never judged anybody's. I never noticed it. You know, oh, those are pretty eyes, but it wouldn't matter which color. So that's an interesting, you know, example of, because I'm looking, really? Blue eyes, green eyes, who gives a shit? But, you know, I get why. Just our filters, you know, this.
Yep.
This
The
false
Kennedys, they were Catholic, they were wealthy, they were well known and liked.
They were
mostly,
it. Yeah.
Mostly. But, you know, now that, of course, I've talked to many of the Kennedys that have passed, it was just that persona. It was the image that was put out, you know, in the news. All those filters, the news people, you know, like they had their, you know, their damage control people that came out and said, no, we need to approve all the images that are going to be put out. Kind of like we're talking about. We want to approve the photos.
They probably wanted to approve their own images.
Yeah, that's what I
need
mean.
to make sure I'm beautiful.
Yeah, they got hired people to make sure, so they weren't seeing it.
Everybody does. I mean,
where they weren't showing power or strength, right? Just like us, we want to show our true selves, but you just have to iron the photos a little bit.
I want you to see what color my necklace is.
It looks like pinks from here.
Pinks and what? What's your new manifestation?
Oh, pink and orange.
I wear this just for you to do.
Everything else. Oh, Spalding. We didn't tell the story about Spalding.
Okay, you can tell the story of Spalding, and then I'm going to wrap up this video.
Yes. Okay.
Go.
So, of course, when we went to Wisconsin, it was full of wonderful synchronicities. The first one being, we get the rental car, and there were 4 for Carrie to choose from. You know, like they were basically the same cars. But I said, well, let's look at the license plates and see which one has a Syncy number, because I love my angel numbers. So the one had a Colorado plate with 511. That was the only one that had like Syncy numbers on it. I said, we'll take that one. So when we get to our destination in Wisconsin Wells, the address to the resort we're staying at is 511 Adams Street. Which I had no idea, because all we do is put the resort in, you know.
Right. We don't know.
GPS.
But wait, we had another sync before that. I don't know if it was a sync, but it was interesting that we were going to land early. We got on first class for the first time ever. We had the whole first class cabin to ourselves. We got a cold cheese sandwich. And then we were going to land early, but tepid coffee, but we couldn't land early because why? Why were we circling?
Oh, yeah, because the president he was there. Yeah, he was trying to get some votes.
So we're going to land, and Trump's there taking up our airspace. So we had to wait for him.
To keep flying around. Yep, getting dizzy.
Yep. Then we had craziness with the hotel and the Uber and all that, but we handled that.
Yep.
We had the 511 What was another sink? There were Adams
There's Adams
everywhere on that trip.
because it's Adams County, which I didn't know. So
Right.
Adams were everywhere.
Yeah.
And the only time we ever had any glitches was the transportation for the hotel,
Which
and
worked
then the
out.
transportation getting back. Remember, we had that that
Oh,
little
yes.
bit of,
That's
so
right.
then really it was just that we knew it was going to go perfect, of course, the whole time. But what the Spalding was, it was sinks. Like I'd say something or talk about something, and then it would occur.
Yeah, why were we talking about that movie? Why were we, or were we? Oh no, because you were okay. No, I
had
get
a
it.
dream.
Go.
The dream with the plane crashing.
There was that maybe, but then you saw the sponge.
I saw the sponge when we walked in. The sponge. There was a sponge. There was a sponge. You see, a kitchen sink one of the smiley face one. And I said, "Oh, we're going to name this sponge Spalding." You know, like Wilson. You know, in Castaway, because I love that movie with angel wings. And here you got angel wings right now around you. And so every time I'd say something throughout the whole, and you get tired of all my texts because I would text you in the other room just to let you know about the sink. But and then it wasn't shortly after, I don't know, it was that night or the following night, you go, "Oh, you won't believe what show is on." And it was Castaway. So we had to sit down and watch that one. And then we also watched Frequency, which is one of my favorite shows, which I haven't seen since before Adam passed.
Aw.
And then that came up when we were doing the Joy Tribe yesterday, because there were so many sinks with the same Irish family type of background. But so then we had this, that was the Spalding with the sponge. And then we got to Carrie's yesterday, and then she's got a Spalding sponge in her sink.
Oh, that's right.
And it's like, I didn't even know these were out there. I've never seen one in the store.
And I'm so cheap and frugal. I brought mine home and it's in my sink right now.
Yeah, I've never seen them in the store.
No, I've seen Bob and he floats in the jacuzzi. He looks just like him, but I've never seen
Spalding. What was else? What else was that?
Well, okay. I guess the reason Trump was sinky was because on the way out, like Biden was coming in. It's like
Biden was coming in when we were leaving.
Something like that.
Trump was playing. And I said, well, we didn't see very much activity in Wisconsin at all. You know, political madness, COVID madness, nothing.
Not at all.
Very, very
hardly even
rural,
saw traffic.
Beautiful,
on the street.
beautiful, beautiful country.
It was. It snowed for about 5 seconds. And
beautiful state, gorgeous state. So it was good to get away and be out in nature and be with you and just.
It was nice.
Love each other
and just have a change of scenery too. Get out of this cabin fever. Okay, so I don't know how to edit, so people are just gonna have to just watch this whole damn thing.
You can just fast forward.
I know, huh? They just might. All right, you guys, thank you for watching another episode of Silver Linings. I had fun with my friend Syncy Sara, and I'll talk to you soon, Syncy Sara. And the rest of you, take care. See you next time. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
No, I'm filming me, but. But okay, turn around because we are on camera. Sarah and I just got to our resort. Look at her. She's already into the fun size.
Mom and mom.
It's not very fun though. I like the extra large pound bag. That's a lot more fun. Anyway, we just showed up. We can't check in yet. Look, wait. Ooh, we got zip liners behind us. We're just kind of walking around getting a feel for the place. Look how pretty it is. And it's snowing. I'm going to hold still and see if you guys can't see. I think it already stopped. No, it's the wrong side again, Sarah. I think she's got a sugar high. Because we had to go pee, so we pulled over at a truck stop, just thinking we were going to pee, to have the most amazing bakery.
Inside the truck stop.
Inside the truck stop. And it was like,
a beautiful bakery.
Like the cookies were the size of like
Pluto.
Like, oh, I had like a big thing. I can't remember. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop this video. I'm done. It's so pretty here. We're so excited. Cheese. Oops, that's a video. Oh, hi, honey. Oh, look how happy she is to see me. Hi.